All right, so the main topic of tonight's show is going to be these mission sets. I want to touch on for a little bit. So let's just hop into here. Tons of stuff you can get in here. I think pretty much every 25-man mission you can do for less than 1,000, and most of them less than 500, I would say.
Absolutely. Most of them, because you get so many commons, it's any 25 men. You don't have, like last year, you had specific guys to get. This time, you can take the bottom 25, most of which you can get for 10 to 15 stubs.
Yeah.
A couple that I want to point out, just specifically with the 25-man ones. Jared Saltalamacchia, as we've said, I speak his praises almost every stream. The only problem is you have to platoon him because he's not really good against lefties. But against righties, he's going to be a solid hitter. He's got good contact, good power. They give him the shift, so if you're good with your timing, you can slap balls down the third baseline with him.
That's a new. That's another new thing that I'm starting to see a lot of people do, is just setting to manual shift to combat that. Because I actually played somebody who had the Cervelli on his battle royale team, and he sent me a message afterwards. He goes, "It was really weird. I thought Cervelli had that opposite shift," and I was like, "Well, I have it on manual defense." He went, "Oh, makes a lot of sense."
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys bunting recently with people having that shift.
Yeah, it's a pain. It's a pain to face.
We also talk highly of the 25-man Chris Sale.
Yeah, I love him.
The relief pitcher. Love him, but I've gotten to the point where I think I crush him now.
I don't know. I really pitch well with him, and I have a hard time hitting him. I faced him a bunch of times. I think he's one of the tougher guys to face, especially with that gas he throws.
Yeah, I've much like the Pat Neshek last year. I've finally started to key in on Sale, and I can start cracking. Who did I hit that home run with? Was it I almost hit a ball out of Minute Maid with Francisco Cervelli.
Ooh.
A little ridiculous. What other 25 that I like? There was one more I know.
I got one I love. And not being biased.
Tell me who.
Nick Swisher. Because with the switch hitter, he also brings 95 power versus righties and pretty good contact numbers, 74 versus righties and 80 versus lefties. Also lets you play him in left field and first base. So not a terrible guy off the bench. A little low in the vision and the clutch that you guys may like, but not terrible. And I do enjoy using him.
I'm actually going to back that up because, like I said, I was doing the Yankees grind, which means I have the Swisher on my counts towards the innings. I'm playing legend level against the computer, and Swisher is hitting 3 for me right now. He's raking. It's something about his batting stance is just so smooth. Like, you know, you get like Carlos Correa. I can't hit with Carlos Correa. I've tried so many times offline to hit with Carlos Correa, but he's got that little like quick swing, like the Ichiro swing almost.
Mm-hmm.
And it screws me up every time. Jonathan Scope's another, like an Oriole that has that same problem. I've actually edited his swing so he doesn't have it anymore in my franchise. But Swisher, like, something about his batting stance, he doesn't move a lot. It lets me focus on the ball coming in. It's just, he absolutely rakes.
Yeah, I feel like guys with the two-handed follow-through, I don't hit well with, which seems like the stupidest thing in the world.
I mean, it's not stupid because, as you said, what is it? 100% or 90% of baseball is mental. So if in your head you're looking at something besides the pitch coming in, if you're distracted for any reason, you're not going to hit. So it's not stupid to say that, because if it distracts you, it's going to distract your hitting.
Yeah, I finally figured out what it was with the with some of the guys. I don't like left-handed batters. I use is it pitcher view or outfield view when I pitch? I think it's left-handed batters who have an open stance that like step in, messes up me reading the meter. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
Wow.
I don't understand it. Shout out to the flashback Vinny Pastano. He's got a nasty, I think it's a slurve. I think he's got a nasty slurve is what it is. He's a nice card.
I like the Kemp personally. I mean, I know his vision is low again, something that you guys like, and I also like being a little bit higher, but can play all parts of the outfield. Got good contact numbers and great power versus righty, which is good, and decent speed.
I think all the Kemps in the game play very well, especially the live series Kemp gets inside edge boosts all the time. I think he's AE1 already. So it's like Jo said, he can play defense. He's not going to hurt you in the outfield. He hits both sides pretty equally, so it's not a guy you're going to have to pull out of your lineup all the time. So I think all of the Kemps play well. And shout out to Jay Young in the chat room. The one problem that I have with Sale, and is that his walks over 9 and his home runs over 9 are a little low. And I know there's a controversy about home runs over 9 and what its effect is in the game right now. But the walks over 9, all you got to do with Sale is wait for that perfect ball to come down the middle because it's going to happen at some point.
Or that slider that just hangs over the plate and gets walloped. Yeah, I think that's it for the 25 man. I mean, the Casimir's also a nice card. I've seen some people having luck with Wandy. I remember at the beginning of the year, people. Yeah, I remember people at the beginning of the year were really loving that Dan Ugla.
Big Sexy. Don't forget Big Sexy.
Are people using that card? I haven't seen anybody really rave about him.
His control with his fastball is his best asset. You can literally pick around the corners of the zone the entire time.
Maybe that's why I've seen a influx of him in games recently. Yeah, the good thing about all these guys is while they're usually not great 5-tool players, they usually have 1 or 2 tools that they're really, really good at. Which is why I like you can mix them in. It's not like you're going to go and get one of these guys and then not use them. You can still, even on a high level team, you can still slot some of these guys in.
Yeah. Well, definitely that's salty. That salty plays until you get somebody that can hit both ways. So,
yeah. Let's talk about the gold collections, which are completing the entire team collections to get a great. I think the first one I did was Burt Blyleven, and now I completely regret that. He's not even in my rotation anymore.
Wow, I don't know about that. I love him. 2
fastballs, 2 curveballs. He doesn't have there's nothing to mix. I can't mix something with him.
I love his windup though. I hit spot on with it a lot. That's my personal thing. But yeah, I agree. I don't like the 2 fastballs, 2 curveballs, but I don't do terrible with him. And it's not bad for a guy who's starting off.
Yeah, and that set is pretty cheap.
Very cheap.
Let me check Daddy Leagues right now. It says you can do it for about less than 14,000. Which for you're getting a diamond pitcher. That's pretty damn good.
Well, I think that's going to be the big thing with these collections that you're going to hear us talk about for the 40-man. It's definitely separated into 2 sides of this. It is the cheaper ones that'll bring you a high-level player quickly, or the more expensive ones that'll bring you a guy that will stay on your team. So, like you said, like the Braves one. The Braves one gives you a McGriff, 89 Crime Dog, McGriff.
Beast card.
Amazing hitter. But there are a ton of first basemen in the game that will end up replacing him at some point in your team.
80 contact, 88 power. 80 contact versus righty, 88 power versus righties.
Yeah, I mean, even his lefties isn't that bad. I don't think he hits lefties that bad either.
75, 71 contact and power.
Yeah, so that still plays. I mean, that still plays, especially mid-level gaming. Maybe not on your high end, but then you get somebody like.
But you go get an Abreu or a Hosmer, and with IE boost, they make this card look like a joke.
Right. But then you get a guy for like you said we were talking about earlier, Reggie Jackson. You're gonna have to pay for him because you got to pay for a bunch of golds. You got to pay for Chapman, Miller, and Betances right off the bat. Now, granted, that makes your bullpen 3 innings strong off the bat, but you pay for him. And yeah, McCann is a good catcher, exactly. But you're gonna pay for him. But Reggie Jackson's probably gonna be on your team in endgame.
Reggie Jackson, they say Daddy Leagues has the set going for about 76,000.
So yeah, I mean, again, that's the big separation you're going to hear about. And trust me, I think all 3 of us have looked into both sides of this. Which ones can we get early, and which ones can we start to look at late? So,
a nice mid-range one is the Rays set.
Yes.
I really like that, Carl Crawford.
So good.
It's going to be at 30,000 stubs to get him. 96 contact versus righties. 69 power versus righties, 61 contact versus lefties, 45 power against lefties. So
fast.
You just want to hit the ball in the gap. Use his, what's the speed? 97 speed.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be fine.
And that collection's also going to give you, well, it used to give you a decent Evan Longoria, but now it's also going to give you the Archer, who's going to slot into your rotation early, and the Casimir we talked about, is going to slot into your rotation as a lefty. So
as long as that Archer doesn't keep dropping, should be all right. 'Cause he's not pitching well this year, unless I'm completely mistaken.
No, you're right. He's had a couple bad outings early. I think he started to straighten it out late, but early I remember him giving up like 6 to the O's and just has not been good early. So
yeah, I think he gave up a couple runs early in his last game too.
Well, and losing Kiermaier this weekend's not going to help him. So
was that broken arm for Kiermaier or something like that?
Yep.
Got to be careful out there.
For what I like, not being biased, like we talked about like the Reggie Jackson, how expensive it may be, how good that card is with 99 clutch on him, his ability just to smash righties. I switch between him and Jose Bautista in right field, like depending on lefty righty matchup. So he's awesome, and if he comes off the bench, I love it too.
Yeah, that's what I was using the McGriff for a lot. Was just coming off the bench as my lefty power off the bench right now.
Yeah.
Another one I want to bring up too is, again, one of the cheap ones is the Phillies. Actually, not. It's going to probably go up because of the Aaron Nola going gold, but Dominic Brown can smash. He can either smash lefties or righties, and I never remember which one it is. I think it's lefties he smashes, because he's right-handed, obviously, but also plays well in the
other way around.
So he does hit righties.
He hits righties, and he's left-handed.
Gotcha. So there you go. But he also plays really good defense.
Yep. 70 contact versus righties, 94 power versus righties. That's a ton of power.
Yeah. And the Phillies one, like I said, still should be fairly cheap, minus the Aaron Nola, who actually a lot of people have already anyway. So
even with the Aaron Nola, it's less than 9,000 to do the set. And don't forget, people, place buy orders. Don't just buy the cheapest one on the market. Place that buy order. I feel like no matter what buy orders and sell orders I put up at night, as long as they're like first or second on the list, if I go to sleep and I come back the next morning, it's all sold. Or it's all bought.
And be patient. Oh, be patient. Don't sit there and because somebody outbid you by like one, don't get into a bidding war where you're getting into like 200, 300, 400. Just let it sit. Because if you watch the market in the mornings, it goes down. Like the Goldschmidt I got for like 30,000, but by the end of the day he was up at like 37. So just leave your bid, whatever bid you're comfortable with, throw it in there, give it 24 hours, see what happens.
Who else do I want to talk about? I hear a lot of good things about the Ubaldo Jimenez for the Rockies collection. I haven't done that yet, but I have heard good things.
I actually ponied up and did a big one. I did the Nolan Ryan for the Astros. I pulled Altuve, and I said I like him enough as a second baseman where I didn't want to get rid of him. And then I ponied up on buying Correa, Keuchel, and Springer, and I absolutely love Nolan Ryan. He's nasty for me.
I've heard great things about that Nolan Ryan, too. And that's the key thing here is if you pull, like you said, Joe pulled Altuve, that's 60,000 stubs that he can just hold on to. Yeah. So if you pull a Nyman, like the Rockies, if you pull Arenado at some point, you're going to get – it's not that much to pay for, I think, because Jake McGee's down now, so you pay for Gonzalez, and that's about it. You might as well go for Leobaldo. Yeah, exactly. So you might as well go for, like I said, you have an upper echelon third baseman that's going to be your third baseman for the rest of the game, unless you pick up like a Mike Schmidt at the end of the year or something. You're going to have a starting pitcher in Jimenez. So, I mean, might as well. Yeah. And that Bichette's sneaky good, by the way, off the bench.
And also, I mean, you also get the Trevor Story, and God forbid he continues to tear it up like he keeps doing. You could see a gold maybe in him if he keeps smashing. Maybe.
What I want to get is this Marlins Hanley Ramirez. Looks like a beast. And shortstop eligibility.
Got to pay for that Jose Fernandez and that Giancarlo Stanton. I think isn't the set like 120 or 130 at this point?
It is a lot. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean the Fernandez alone is a lot.
150, almost 150.
Yeah.
I pulled the Stanton, actually. I got very, very fortunate with that. I don't know if I want to end up completing it because of the Fernandez and D. Gordon, because I'm getting Hanley, and I already have Correa, and I already did the Astros set. So I'm kind of okay with Correa right now. I don't know if I'd want. I know Hanley's amazing, but for right now, maybe later on in the game, I finish that.
Well,
It's tough.
and the Correa is probably going to go up too, even though he's not having a great beginning of the year.
Yeah.
He was one of the ones tagged to probably be a diamond by the end of the year. So the Hanley might be amazing, but if you got Correa, I mean, that's another thing to factor into all this. What position do you need help with? I've got the Goldschmidt because number one, he went down in price, and number two, I need an outfielder. I'm stocked up on infielders. I don't have room. I have literally Josh Donaldson sitting on my bench because I've got nowhere to play him. So going from there, you got to think about I need more outfielders. I need a catcher. That's why I'm grinding for Berra. That's why I went for the Gonzalez. And I'm probably going to need more starting pitching at some point. So also take into effect what your team needs. Don't just buy somebody because you hear us saying it or you hear somebody go, wow, this is the best card in the game. Go with your team.
Yeah. And I love Hanley's, like, again, you said his eligibility to play like first base, third base, and left field along with shortstop as his primary. That is awesome for a guy like that.
Yeah. Shout out to Matt Foley. Other very good point is that you also get for every collection you do, not command and conquer. For every collection you do get a boost in XP and stub rewards. So,
yeah. Any other full team collection you guys want to hit on? The only ones I would say to like kind of avoid. The Kenny Lofton sounds great. I think the Carl Crawford is the exact same card, but better.
Mm-hmm.
Faster, more contact. You're going to be way happier doing the Rays collection than the Indians collection.
I think the athletics, especially if Sonny Gray keeps pitching the way he does, I know he just went on the DL, so he'll be up for another bump down. You might be able to get away. That Raleigh's Fingers plays well at closing pitcher, and you can set him in there, especially like I said, early to mid-level game. He'll be your closer for a while until you're able to like grind out the Papelbon or someone like that.
Yeah, but I think last week we discussed that. Is that Raleigh Fingers really good? Like he's very similar to that Eckersley from last year. That wasn't that great. I haven't seen anybody really being champion this Raleigh Fingers card out here yet.
I saw a couple of people use him on streams and didn't bad with him. I haven't used him personally, and actually it's one of the collections I was thinking about doing because I like what the American League West collection looks like. So,
oh, you know what's real dumb? If you do the Rangers collection, you get a 92 Will Clark on the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants card, yeah.
So
they do that with the Gary Carter that you can get from both grinding the Mets but collecting the Nationals. Either way, you can get him.
Yeah.
So,
any other full team ones we want to talk about?
That's it for me.
No, I mean, full team wise, you can look at if you're looking at maybe the Mets, which is uber expensive because of the Syndergaard and everything. The Daniel Murphy's a really, really good second baseman. Probably one of the better second basemen in the game that's not speed, more hitting. But other than that, I mean, I would stay away from guys like the Cubs. I don't think the Ryan Sandberg plays very well. I don't think the Stargell's very good in Pittsburgh. I've heard good things about the Edmonds. But like you said, like Gaylord Perry from San Diego is not that great. The Blyleven's not that great. The Jared Weaver, not that great. And you got to have Trout anyway, so.
I know you guys have done some of the division rewards. How have those guys been doing for you?
You can go first.
Oh yeah, it's fine. I love Cal. I mean, I'm a Orioles fan, obviously, but if you follow my Twitter, I literally post Twitter videos every time he makes a play because that's all he does is make defensive plays for me. He's started to hit now that I've gotten used to his batting stance, and he's a little taller, so his strike zone's a little bigger. But his defense is amazing. He's actually playing when Manny gets primary shortstop. I'm considering moving Manny over and then playing Donaldson at third and using Cal as kind of a defensive backup. But even then, it's going to be tough for me to take that 95 arm strength out of shortstop.
I actually have not completed any of the divisional ones. I am working on them. I've actually taken a break from completing some of these mission sets, but yeah, the Cal Ripken, again, it's tough with the Correa. Could possibly keep going up. Don't know if I want to complete some of the other ones. Al Kaline. I'm horrible with pronouncing names, not terrible, but I'm staying back for now. I'll see if I end up needing them again for team need. Don't think I need them right now.
Yeah, I really want to do this NLE set, but getting Harper, Stanton.
Yeah, that Harper
that's
is going to be.
The Mets getting the Mets rotation. It's like I said, if someone wants to give me like $250, we can go. We could do this set right now. Hit me up on PayPal. But yeah, this chipper. I'm not stopping playing this game until I get this damn chipper. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care if I'm gonna play this for years.
We talked about that with Paul. Is that everybody has that end game card they want, and they're still releasing more. Mm-hmm. So like he said, the K line is somebody he wanted. He wants a Joe Nathan. I mean, for me, Cal was the one end game card that I had to have when I saw it. I said, you know what? At some point, I'm going to get this. I'm just lucky enough that I have family that, again, knows my addiction to gaming and had no problem giving me PSN cards for no reason. But the other division reward that I really am interested in is that 97 Kemp. We talked about the Kemp cards in general, but he's a center fielder with monster hitting and good defense.
I got him in Battle Royale. Monster. Just a straight monster. Speaking of
bench, I think there's other things for the bench.
We're moving on.
I'm talking no. Okay.
Speaking of cards that I have to have under the Command and Conquer, I need to start racking up innings with the Braves to get this 88 Jeff Francoeur. Need him. What about you guys?
I'm the only one that I'm doing those slowly again. Conquest, I know I should be doing more than I am, but I'm working on the Mariners for Ichiro. I definitely would like that card. Maybe off the bench, most likely at this point for me right now. And I might be mistaken, but there was another the Dodgers for Beltre. Another one I want because I don't have a third baseman yet.
That Beltre is amazing. I mean, fielding wise and hitting wise.
Listen, this Jeff Francoeur is 99 contact versus lefties, 99 power versus lefties.
What's his arm strength?
97,
right?
97.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm just gonna dump a JO when I play it tonight. It's gonna be all Braves. We gotta start racking up these innings because I need 1,400 of them or something.
I'm gonna go with my all good team, so it's okay. I'm still gonna beat you.
And then the Jeff Francoeur is the feed for the. I'm sorry, Eddie Matthews is the feed for the Braves. I don't know. I want to get to John Axford. I like his windup. I think at Kazarabu on Twitter is going to be using the Axford windup when I make him.
The Axford curve is really nice too, and that obviously it puts you on your way to a 96 Prince fielder who you don't have to worry about his inside edge.
Yeah, I also know you like Ozzie Smith, which is the Cardinals feed after you do the Alan Craig.
Yep. Great defense, really high. I think he's like upper 90s vision. Not great in terms of power. He's definitely going to be like hitting ninth like he did a lot of his career. But, defensively, again, his arm strength isn't up with Cal, but his reaction and fielding, he gets the balls and throws balls like better than anybody in this game not named Anderson Simmons. So,
sticking with shortstops, not a huge fan of Ernie Banks. I've had him, haven't really loved him. I've been sticking with Seager.
I've actually had the Barry Larkin in a Battle Royale. Not a fan. He had like 3 or 4 errors for me, like just glove errors, not throwing errors.
I need to look at this Rangers one too.
I actually had the Ernie Banks in Battle Royale, and he was smashing balls for me. I loved him, so it's weird.
He was your Draymond Green, you'd say.
Yes.
Different swings for different folks, I believe, is the thing they say.
I think a lot of people. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm currently working on the Tigers. I have 861 of 1,000 innings, which will give me Johnny Peralta, and then I can get Jack Morris. Who knows if I'm gonna use Jack Morris? There was another one I'm getting close with. I want to say the Cardinals. I'm at 497 of 600 with the Cardinals, which will give me Alan Craig, and then I can get Ozzie Smith. And I think I already have enough cards for the feeds for those. Which, at some point, maybe I'll actually get my my Dynasty player onto this team.
I think that's one thing in all these missions and all the stuff that I've been focused. My Diamond player is like a 90, and I haven't even put him in my game because I'm having so much fun with. Again, the inside edge changes your lineup so much that I don't really want my diamond. I mean, he might be great, but I don't really have any spot for him. I'd rather have all these really cool flashbacks or like these inside edge guys. It's like, wait, Freddie Freeman's a 92. Let me throw him in there at first base.
Yep. We also got to give a shout out to the 93 overall Ichiro, which is the feed for the Mariners.
Yeah, the one thing you want to watch out for is with the Mariners and Padres right now because of the Gwyn. Their mid-levels, like their 77 through 82s on the market, are going to be more expensive because everybody's going for them. So just a heads up for people like me that want to get that Gwyn going, that when you go to pay for your feed guides, they're going to be a little more expensive.
Yeah, and that Gwyn's got massive speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
86 speed, 99 contact versus righties, 98 contact versus lefties. Beast card.
Yes.
92 arm strength. He's no Jeff Francoeur, but pretty good.
I think the feed players you want to kind of stay away from if you're looking is probably, again, we talked about the Bly11 for Pittsburgh is an 87 Bly11. He's not even like the collection Bly11. I've heard bad things about the Canerco, the White Sox Canerco. Obviously, I said I was working on the Yogi Berra, him or the Gary Carter for the Mets. I really like the Mets. They're 2,000 innings, though, but you get a 92 Billy Wagner who's got a crazy windup and crazy pitch mix, and you'll get the Gary Carter who is, again, a catcher that you'll have there unless you have a Posey or an end-level Molina. So,
yeah, and you could, let me just see how many it is. You could do the Astros. This Jason Castro flashback, from what I remember, is pretty good. And if you do the feed, it's a 93 Billy Wagner, which is also nice.
Oh, nice. I like that one.
So there's an outside chance you might be better off doing the Astros, especially with the price that you're going to end up paying for the Mets starting pitchers.
Not another terrible one of the Giants, Pablo Sandoval, not a bad guy off the bench because he can also play catcher, third base, and first base. So he's not a terrible hitter.
Yeah, good contact, decent power.
And we talked about the second baseman earlier. I'll talk about the same two second basemen. The 95 Kinsler for the Rangers is amazing. And the 94 Zobrist for the Rays, who I think is only a 750 inning guy. Plays second, obviously plays all over the place. Hits better than the live series Zobrist. So,
yeah, and with the on your way to the Kinsler, you're gonna get to 87 Cruz, which has 95 power versus righties, 91 power versus lefties.
Whew.
So that's on my short list of ones to do next. I think that's gonna wrap it up. For talking about missions, that's a lot of missions. A lot of mission suggestions for you to go out there and do. A lot of great cards that can be out there for, not a ton of price. And for some of this, if you just grind out innings, you can start getting some really great cards for not paying a lot. Especially for the Command and Conquer ones, or the Conquer and Command ones. All you have to do is play, what's it called? Conquest, which doesn't really cost you anything. And then you just grind out the teams. You could get some real nice cards for not paying a lot.
Yeah, and the other thing you want to also remember is there's so much more content this year than there was last year when they first changed Diamond Dynasty. I really hope they continue along this path. Maybe even go like the Madden way where there's like journeys. I'd love to see them bring up like 2-inning scenario kind of plays to get like packs or stubs, something like that. Again, that would be directly taking it from Madden, but that's one of the things I really liked about MUT that I'd like to see in this for next year too.
Yeah, even
Agreed.
Even beat the NL East, beat the NL West, beat the divisions in 3-inning games. That would be fine. That's one of the biggest things I'm upset about is that Conquest doesn't have a reward for beating it a second time.